If Republicans want to win, they should go for increasing Social Security. Not even just holding it steady, never mind let it decline, which it seems to be some Republicans, freaking Ben Shapiro and the other guy, Matt Walsh, and others in the Republican Party seem to be like, yeah, there's something we got to think about. No. What you should do is advocate an increasing of Social Security. Now, I can hear all the naysayers. How are we going to afford that? We'll talk about that here in just a second. We'll talk about how we're going to afford this in just a second. But Social Security, I hate to say it, guys, is popular. There are like over 60 million people currently on Social Security right now. Not one of them ever gives back their check. Not one of them does. Maybe one does. Warren Buffett might. Every single other 99.9% of the people receiving Social Security like that they get that check. That's just a fact. It's a very popular program. In fact, check this out. Right here, 57% of retirees indicated that Social Security is a major source of their income. 85% believe that Social Security benefits are now more important than ever. And 81% don't mind paying paying Social Security taxes because it provides a significant benefit. AARP, and I don't trust them as far as I could kick them, but even if that's 25% over, that means the vast majority of people support Social Security. So Republicans say, the vast majority of people, to include many Republicans, support this program. Millions upon millions of people are on this program. Every single person takes a check. None of them freaking lights a cigar with $100 bills about it. Maybe there's something we can learn here in terms of popularity, because memory serves, winning elections about being popular. It's the most popular. But Republicans say, no, like look at dogs. So we got dogs here, right? You see those two dogs? Dogs are quite popular. Why? Because they're cute as a button and they love us. Dogs are quite popular. So Republican Party say, while dogs are popular, they do cause whatever, ticks. I don't know what the hell it would be. So we got to find a way to reduce dog ownership. That's going to win you a lot of votes there, guys. Idiotic. So Social Security is quite popular. Millions and millions of people are on it. Millions and millions of people more will be on it. People don't mind paying taxes for it. Now, they're not going to have a significant tax raise. I grant you, that's not going to work for the Republican Party. So I wonder if there's another way that Republicans could increase their popularity and enact a conservative agenda. Let's just take a look. So let's think about this, because we're not going to win on Social Security. So we're going to come over here. Here's a federal discretionary spending. All right, so you got mandatory spending entitlements, essentially. Medicare, net interest income, and Social Security. So here's discretionary spending. We spend $1.6 trillion on discretionary spending. What if we just said, we're going to cut 10% off of everything? Because Republicans do not like the Department of Education, by the way. We can't stand the Department of Education. We don't like the Department of Labor. I'm not saying, I would cut the Department of, if I was king, I'd say, you're gone, DOE. We don't like the Department of Labor. You're gone, DOL. You know what I'm saying? We could cut stuff 10% across the board cut, to include the military, by the way. To include the military, we could say we're going to cut across the board 10%. Now you'll notice veterans benefits aren't part of the military, which is kind of weird. So you can't cut veterans benefits as much as let's just put it this way, there's a lot of shenanigans that come with the beginning of veterans benefit. I'm just going to tell you right now. We all know this. If you ever served or you watch people, you say, man, there's a lot of shenanigans that come with that. But be it as it may, you're not going to cut that. But you can cut this right here. You can cut this right here. You can cut this right here. You can cut that right there. You can say 10% across the board cut for everything but veterans benefits, because that is an entitlement, essentially. They served. They did what they're told. They follow the rules. Again, there's a lot of, let's just put it this way. I had a doctor one time, a client in Georgia. Actually, an Asian guy, had a deep Southern accent. It's kind of funny. And he guy just crushes. And I think it's from Vietnam, as a matter of fact. And anyway, so they had this rehab in I forget, Augusta, someplace in the eastern part of Georgia. I think it's Fort Stewart. So they had this bike machine, one of those bike machines, what the hell they're called. And it was a 240 plug, a European plug. We have 120 outlets here in the United States. It's a 240 outlet. So they shipped it to him so he could rehab his guys come back from Iraq and Afghanistan. But they couldn't use it because it's a 240 plug. And so he said, so he went to go rewire it, because this guy's smart and he just crushes. Like I said, I think it's Vietnamese, and those guys, I love Vietnamese people. You guys crush. And they said, you can't do that. You need to have the Department of Defense has to do that. He's like, well, okay, I'm an employee of I don't remember if he was department. He was a doctor at some place. I can't remember what he'd fall. And he goes, no, The Department of Defense didn't want to spend the money on getting his the wire. So he spent the money on the machine, but they didn't want to spend the money on the wiring correctly. He said, I can do this. I said, no, it's literally against the law, against a union contract, something like that. So they have these machines that are just literally just developing dust and all that. That can't be used. All right, that's a military expense. That's insane, dude. Insane. It happens all the time. I mean, we all heard back in the 80s the golden toilets and all this stuff. It's insane. But here's the Republican Party. We can say, no, we'll grant you a 10% deduction in military. You know what I'm saying? We'll grant you that because we should, man. Look, you cannot be a conservative if you're like, we got to increase the Department of Defense. We got to increase the Pentagon. You're not conservative, man. You're just in terms of fiscally conservative. I hear this all the time. I'm fiscally conservative, but I want to increase the budget for the military. Why? So we can fight more wars. Okay. So we can spend more money in Ukraine and Israel. Okay. So we can spend more foreign aid. No, screw all that. So we say cut 10% across everything. But even better, then we could get our bugaboos, Department of Education, Department of Health, Department of Labor, HHS, Department of Transportation. We can cut the government budget back because everyone in the Republican Party wants those things cut. And then you can fund Social Security. That's so crazy. It just might work with an increase in Social Security and maybe not even have to raise payroll taxes. So crazy it might work. People love Social Security. The idea that you even allow this discussion to be seen that you're in favor of cutting it is freaking stupid. So many people rely on it. And a lot of people don't pay much mind to the politics. They just watch stupid, whatever that guy's name, David Muir, whatever the stupid guy's name is, and their fake news stuff. You got to go out there advocating strongly. We're in favor of raising Social Security benefits, not cutting. Well, how are you going to do it? We're going to cut 10% across the board of all discretionary spending other than veterans benefits. Man, it's so clever, it will work. And you're going to get votes like you haven't seen. But Republicans won't do it because we know the Republicans are controlled opposition. They are the Washington Generals. Dan Crenshaw, for instance. Do you really think he's a Republican? Give me a freaking break. What was the guy, Michael Steele, the RNC, used to be the RNC chairman, the black guy from Maryland? He's not a Republican. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what the Republicans we want. Freaking, what's that guy? John Kasich? No, these guys are fake. They're which way the wind's blowing? I'm Republican. Oh, now I'm a Democrat. We know that. Slowly, the MAGA team is starting to take these people, move them away. It's a bloodbath. A bloodbath, I tell you. Slowly, the MAGA people are starting to get these people, but I'm not sure we'll ever have enough momentum to fully take over the Republican Party. But if the Republican Party wanted to win, this is what they would do. What I'm saying. It's just that simple. All right. Love your thoughts. God bless.